How can you become more courageous and get rid of fear so you can start taking risks in your life? Today's question is from Stefan, and it says, I'm struggling the most with having courage to face risks. Risks of life, financial risks, etc. I'm prepared thoroughly for everything that I'm going to do, but nonetheless often lack the courage to pull the trigger. I have a personal history of 14 years of health issues that are solved now, but I have a deep-rooted need of safety from that time. I suffered from trauma because of the illness, but it was cleared with EMDR. Any advice regarding becoming courageous or overcoming fear would help. So I want to start with this. You are making the assumption that courage means lacking fear, and that's not true. Courage is having loads of fear, like shitting yourself, and still doing it. That's courage. Otherwise, if you're not scared of it, it's not courage, it's just a normal behavior. So let's start with that. Fear in itself is not a bad thing. Fear evolved to keep us safe. It's a protection mechanism that developed throughout human history. We would be dead if we didn't have fear. So it's absolutely normal. What's not so good is if you let these fears stop you from taking actions. Now we're talking about something else. A need for safety is absolutely normal. We all have it in a certain degree or another. And it seems like you have it maybe more because of your trauma with the illness. Now, that is a need that is valid, and it doesn't have to be ignored. It has to be acknowledged and taken care of. So if I were you, I would ask myself, if I want to take this, let's say, financial risk, how can I do it while also having a safety net, while also taking care and into consideration this need? So there's two parts of you, one that wants to take the risks and one that needs safety. How can you combine them? How can you take care of both of them? It's not a good thing or a solution to absolutely ignore your need for safety, because you'll end up just not taking action or self-sabotaging yourself, and it's not going to work. So you need to take both into account. For example, some people, before they take a financial risk, let's say, or make a huge career change, or, take a certain type of risk, they make sure they have a plan B, a safety net. Okay, I'm going to have savings for 10 months in advance. I'm going to, ask for money from my parents or move in with my parents if that happens. I'm going to have a part-time job while I take these risks. Ask yourself, what can you do to create that feeling of safety while you take that risks? You don't have to risk everything in order to be courageous. You don't need to lose all your money, put all the money on the line, or your whole career or whatever to be courageous. No, that's actually quite dumb. What you can do is take the risks while you have that safety that if that doesn't work out, you have eggs in other baskets as well. And that's smart. If fear is still stopping you from taking action, even if you have that, let's say, safety net, then what I would do is start with taking smaller risks first. So instead of jumping in the cold ocean right away, I would start slow with smaller risks, that are not that life-altering. By doing this, you're training your brain to understand that it's okay to take risks by taking smaller ones. You're going to be safe to take risks when you see that, okay, I'm taking this risk and nothing happens, We don't want to get you... So if you imagine like 3 circles, you have the comfort zone, you have the stretch zone, and you have the panic zone. Right? We don't necessarily want you all the time in the comfort zone, because then there's not going to be any growth. We want you in the stretch zone from time to time, but we don't want you in the panic zone, because if you take a huge risk, you will go into the panic zone and your mind will just be like, nah, I'm not doing this. And it will stop you from making the action. We just want you in the stretch zone. So I would invite you to be a bit more compassionate with yourself and pay attention to your limits, to your body's limits, and take that into consideration, because they are valid and important. I hope this video was helpful. If you would like to ask me any personalized questions and get a video response from me, you can join my Patreon community. Take care.